sold me a dream the way I got that cream. Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to the Game Skits. Today, and only today, that's right, I am here to talk to you about Sonic Dream Team, the finale of Sonic's 2022. It's been an insane year for Sonic, you know, whether it's Final Horizons or just Final or Frontiers updates in general, or the Sonic Symphony or Origins or Superstars or Murder Sonic. There's been like a trillion things, but to conclude the year, we have gotten a new game on mobile, and it is kind of surreal to be covering a Sonic mobile game, because typically the mobile games for a long time, you know, it's been your Sonic jumps and your Sonic dashes, but this is the first time I feel like we've gotten a real significant game. I'm gonna try to put all the points I wanted together, but here's what I should express for this. First of all, thank you Sega Hardlight for providing the game for me, and also I did not beat it. I purposely did like about the first zones because I do want to experience the end of the game with my community, with you guys, but I've played enough to understand how the game is generally and all that stuff. So Sonic Dream Team is basically a 3D platforming Sonic game, but the big hook catch here, I guess, is that the game is Apple Arcade exclusive. It is a game made for Apple Arcade. It is exclusive to it. I don't know if it's funded by it or all that money, how that goes, but it is exclusive to that. So you can only play this on Apple devices. Now, I will say I played this on 3 different devices. I played this on my iPhone, I played this on my iPad, and I played it on an Apple 4K TV. Now, I know a lot of people don't have that luxury, right, to, you know, be able to try within multiple devices, but I have, so I will be able to address it for you for which device you're playing on. The first thing I want to say is I am shocked and happy to tell you guys this is probably one of the most polished Sonic games ever made. Like, I know it's probably gonna just feel crazy, but it is. Like, this is a game where you're barely ever gonna encounter any bugs. It runs at smooth 60, obviously, you know, depending how old your iDevice is. I have a 14 Pro iPhone, I have like a Gen 10 iPad or something, and I have an Apple 4K TV, but it's gonna depend on your Apple device, obviously. But game runs smoothly, looks beautiful. Like, again, the way I would describe this game is like if they made a Sonic game exclusively for Switch. That's like the best comparison I can give you, where like it's a very unique looking art style, but it's like, it's so, I'm telling you guys, like, you're always gonna be upset at how polished the game is, which makes that really fun. Now let's talk about the basic premise. Sonic Dream Team, right? The whole plot of this game is basically the gang gets sucked into a dream that, you know, it's Cream's dream that Eggman is using in order to, you know, harness the power. It's some typical stuff. I don't really want to get too much in the weeds for people that don't want to be spoiled, but I would say it's as simple as a Sonic game, you know, plot can be. It's not as intricate as something like a Frontiers or a Sonic Adventure, or even a Forces, you know, for how bad that game is. Like, it's not going for this crazy world-ending plot. It's more about, you know, some cute, endearing moments with the characters. You get that new character, Ariam, who's like the person that's between the dreams and is trying to help them go forward. She is really cute. She's got some cool interactions, but what I will say is the character animations are so good. Like, you start off the first level and Sonic, just the way he is animated is so cool. Each of the characters have these adorable, such alive, you know, idle animations, and like, you are, again, like I said, you're gonna be upset at how clean and polished this game is for a 3D Sonic game. Sadly, most cutscenes in the game are basically just still frames that you get in like cutscenes, but like there's moments where you'll get in-game movements, you know, like beginning of the game or before a boss fight. So there's some glimpses of that, but I do wish they were all animated, because dude, the character models are so good. In fact, the whole game is voice acted. Every cutscene is voice acted. Everything is voice acted. You know, all the gang sounds fantastic except for Rouge and what's her name, Cream and Cheese. They sound awful.
You're shaping up to be quite the impressive young man. I promise to do my best.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I hate Rouge's voice in this game. I hate Cream's voice. Now, granted, Cream is like a little kid, so it's fine, but Rouge, it's just not him. It's not it. But let's get into why you are obviously here, and that is the gameplay, right? So here's the way this game is structured. I believe there are 4 big zones in the game, unless there's a secret one that unlocks later. There's 4 big zones in the game. Each one has multiple acts, I believe 4 acts, and within those acts, there is about 5 to 6 to 8 missions in them. So you can imagine how much basically content you're getting in this game. I mean, you are basically getting a mobilified game in a sense of the game is very arcadey in terms of its level length. You're getting into levels that are, you know, maybe to maximum 3 minutes long. Really maximum if you're stretching. You know, typically these levels are 2.5 minutes long, and basically each one has a different setting to them. So like the first act of every zone will basically be a full level. You know, you'll have a full level, you'll have different objectives to it. You might get some keys to go to different spots. You'll get some grind wheels. You get some really cool just gameplay. You're just getting the cool gameplay movement. And then once you go into the act 2s through, you know, 6 of them, well, no, within you're doing the mission within an act, those missions vary. So you'll do stuff, you know, like run through the checkpoints as fast as possible. You're doing a time trial. You're doing a mission where you have to gather, you know, 6 crystals throughout the map. It has basically different missions. Sometimes it'll be like character specific missions, which is important for a lot of the replay value of this game, right? Because a big hook of this game is the Dream Team mechanic slash idea. Now, I wish this idea was a little more fleshed out or required, but essentially as you play the game, you're going to unlock more of the cast. The cast is separated into 3 types. You got speed type, which is Sonic and Amy. So they just, you know, they have the boost, and their gimmick is that they have the light speed dash. So you can go through the giant rings in the air. You obviously have Tails and Cream, who are the flying types. So they have like a little flying meter, and they can go through these little flying things. And then you have Rouge and Knuckles, who are the gliders. So they have the gliding and the wall climbing. And what's cool is every level has something unique for those characters. So let's say you'll go into, you know, the first act, right, of each world, because each floor has like 3-4 acts. And the first act of those worlds before you get into the missions will be like the full level. Those levels will have multiple spots you can go to. So like you could replay a level theoretically with Knuckles, and you can, you know, take a different path, right? You can replay a level with just Sonic and go through light speed dash areas. You know, you can play with Cream or Tails, and you can go through those areas. But the cool part is you could swap between any character at any moment, right? So you could, you know, be a level, do a light speed dash to go to a secret path with Sonic, and then you could swap the Tails and go flying to a different area, which I find is really cool. I like the idea that you can on the spot swap characters. Now, the game is a little limited in the sense that like you have to be standing still to swap a character, so you can't do something crazy like, you know, go to a high area, press R1 to swap a character, and then get into Tails flying and then swap to another character. Obviously, I think they do that so you don't break the game, because it'd be broken if, you know, you fly as Tails, switch to Knuckles, keep gliding, and then switch to Sonic, do a light speed dash. That would be a little too much. But I do, again, like the idea of being able to play as multiple characters through within the same level. In terms of collectibles, the game has, you know, the 5 rings you typically expect, and this game also has blue coins. And honestly, a lot like Mario Sunshine, or I would even compare them more to the purple coins in Odyssey, where like you find them in 3s in different spots of the level. They're definitely a little bit annoying to find. I would say the blue ones are definitely annoying to find, but they do incentivize replay value. But those are the type of collectible that, you know, will be behind like a platform somewhere, right? Or you have to, you know, fly to a different area to find. Again, they're your reason a lot of the times to go back and play a level, which I really like. That again, you're not getting too many. Each zone basically in the 4 acts, the first mission of the 4 acts will have the 5 rings and the 30 blue coins. But again, it's just a way to incentivize replay value. You get these cool figures from the figure shop in order to, you know, what's called, that's your reward for getting them. So nothing too crazy. It's not a requirement for any kind of unlockable except those. And obviously we should talk a bit about the zones. I love the dream aesthetic of the game. You know, the first world is this sort of like beach bouncy house type area, and I find it so cool. Like I find that level is very pretty. It's very fun. The second one is this like chemical plant zone kind of place, you know, where it's got these lava buds and, you know, these walls you're running on. Like I feel like they did a good variety with the areas. The third area is like this sort of maze that's in the middle of like a creepy sky area, and I found that place is really dope. And the way they switch up sort of the mechanics and things you can do in those levels is really fun. And I think that the consistency I feel like with this game is it's so fun. Like I feel like this is one of the few Sonic games where maybe the ambition isn't there, right? Like this isn't a game that's trying to be this grandiose thing, but as an arcadey game, it is so fucking fun. Like it is genuinely so fun. You could tell like the team had fun making this game, and because the game is so polished, there's something to be said about just how you can just play these levels and enjoy it. And you know, there's no but, right? There's no but this or but that, or I don't like this or I don't like that. It's like, it just feels like, yeah, no, these are just super fun levels start to finish. Even the bosses of the end of each world are fun. It's like everything about the game is fun, right? Does it ever feel like you're doing something insane or that something blows your mind? No, I wouldn't say that, you know, but I would say just everything about the game just feels happy and just kind of like, again, mobilified in a sense, because it's so weird, right? It's a game that has, you know, I feel like console level quality in terms of what it's made. Like I said, it's like a Switch exclusive Sonic game was made, you know, where it has that high polish, but it's like it's self-contained because it's a mobile game. The levels are meant, you know, I play a level, put the phone in my pocket, or obviously, you know, I'm playing it with a controller. Now you can play this with a controller. I will say, right, out of the 3 ways I played this, iPhone, iPad, and Apple TV, I actually preferred the iPad. I feel like for me, the iPad way of playing it, I had the game at 60 FPS. I was able to play with a controller. By the way, if you have any, I think, iDevice, you can connect a Bluetooth controller. So I think you can easily connect your Xbox controller, your Switch controller. I don't know about PlayStation. I feel like you definitely could find a way to do that. But you can use any controller. And I think that's the optimal way if you're a Sonic fan. Because when you play on the screen while touching the buttons, you'll have, you know, that fake sort of analog sticks on screen. I hate that shit. I've always hated that on phone games. You know, you see the circle pad on screen and the 2 buttons. You have a jump button and a dash button for every character. It's something that I'm not really a big fan of with mobile games. So play with a controller, having the HUD clean, empty, looking nice. That's my style. There's also another thing in the game that has like weekly challenges, and they've also promised they're gonna do DLC. And these weekly challenges are sort of like specific missions you do with the characters. So like they're like Tails missions or other characters missions where certain platforms will just be in the sky, and you're playing missions that are just randomized, I guess, or some that they've made themselves that are just going to be weekly, and hopefully there's more of them. It's just like, I hope this is a game that I can just keep going back to, you know what I mean? I hope it's a game that I can just jump into whenever I want. But like in terms of just like, I'm just shocked. Like it's a game that I feel like in terms of production value, fun, joy, it's so good. And obviously this is a Sonic game, so I have to talk about how does it feel, right? The momentum, the movement, and everything. It feels pretty good, right? I don't think, you know, obviously it ever feels like it has the movement of a Sonic Adventure 2 or a Frontiers or maybe even a Boost game, but I feel like the movement just works. You know, I can move the characters around how I feel like. I can, you know, homing attack onto any grind rail, which is really satisfying, and I can boost. I wish there were more stuff. Like I wish I could drop dash, right? But obviously they're definitely accounting for the fact that this is a phone game and they didn't want too much buttons, because playing it with a controller and having just 2 things I can do feels weird. You know, it's weird that I can't like feel like I can spin dash and jump into a grind rail, right? I wish I could do little stuff like that, but I also find like the game is so satisfying in terms of like its options. Like I feel like, you know, you could do a half pipe jump, do a light speed dash, jump into a different grind rail. Like I feel like the game definitely allows you to have fun with the movement and the environment, which is like the most important aspect of a Sonic game. It has some momentum. I wouldn't say it's like everything is momentum based for sure. Like it's not a momentum based really game, but like it gives you a good sense of speed and movement, right? And the levels don't feel too automated. It feels like, you know, obviously you have things that are meant to be homing attacked into a grind rail into this, but like the way you can get certain collectibles, the way you have certain different paths you can take makes it fresh and fun consistently. By the way, Fidel After Dark here to tell you, I forgot to talk about the music. Music is pretty cool. It's nothing crazy. I think the composer of the game is some fucking guy that worked on like Deus Ex tournament music. It's you know, it's pretty. There's some catchy tunes, but there's nothing where I'm like, oh damn, this is a Sonic banger right here. In terms of hours, I would say if you were gonna mainline the game, what, maybe it would take you like 2 hours. Like that's if you just blatantly mainlined it, right? And if you took your time to do all the levels without getting all the collectibles, I would say maybe 3-ish, like probably 3 to 4, right? Again, really depends how much you replay, how much you enjoy yourself, how much you do collectibles, but I think it's a decent sized game for a mobile game, and it's fun, man. It's like it feels good to just talk about a Sonic game that like it's just, hey man, that was a great time. And it's like, not to compare it to Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, but it reminds me of that game in a sense of like, for what it is and what it's doing, it's pretty fucking awesome. Like I honestly don't have really many complaints with this game. I wish there were more movement options. I wish switching characters was a little more, you know, rewarding instead of feeling like I had to stop and then switch to another character. I wish there was a bit of a flow motion. Like maybe, you know, you ran around with Sonic and Cream and you could do some team up mechanics and stuff like that. It's like, it's stuff I wish was in the game, but there's nothing I wish was out of the game. Like, I just had a great time. No level also drove me insane. Like, I feel like everything was super fun. The only maybe challenge I didn't like were like the crystal finding ones, but besides that, I had a great time with this game, and I think it definitely sucks that it is, you know, only on one platform, and I know a lot of people are going to want to play this on console with a controller and all that, but if you can play it right, if you are a lucky person that can play the game, I think you're going to have a good time. And I think a lot of Sonic fans, you know, just, I think wanting the series to succeed is probably just the best mental outcome. That's how I always see it. It's like, hey, it sucks, I want to play it, but hey, if the franchise can thrive, make some money, give us more cool shit, I'm all for it. But yeah, those are my initial thoughts. If you have anything you'd like to ask me, please leave a comment in the comment section below. I will also be streaming the entire game on Twitch on Tuesday, so the next day. So if you want to come watch me do that, come watch your boy do that. And of course, guys, thank you all for watching. You're the best. And of course, I'll see you all next time. Peace out.